This video is called Think About These Things, and this is in response to one of my viewers. And I'm not trying to prove him wrong, and I'm not trying to be passive aggressive. I'm just sharing thoughts on why I respectfully differ in some things. Okay? Doing my best not to be a jerk to people on my channel. As I realize sometimes I've done that, and I apologize to any of you that I've done that. So this viewer quoted Isaiah 45:7, which says, I, the Lord, create calamity or evil, depending on which version you read. And people, there are a lot of people I know, not just this viewer, but I have another good friend who subscribes to this, and a whole group of other people that he listens to that subscribe to the belief that God creates evil, and they base it on this verse. And they say, well, causality, where did evil come from? If not God, who created all things, caused it. And I understand their argument. So here are some problems why I will never believe that. Spoken in complete humility. Okay? Number one, the Bible tells us to imitate God, Ephesians 5:1. Okay? It also tells us that we're predestined to become conformed to the image of Jesus Christ, who is the express image of God, Hebrews 1. Right? In John 1, right? I and the Father are one. All through the Bible, Jesus is shown to us to be the express image of God and the exact representation of his nature. He explains God, all these things, right? And we are destined to become conformed to the image of Christ, and we are to imitate God, and we are supposed to be like God, right? We are supposed to imitate him. So if God creates evil, then we are predestined to do the same for our kids. I mean, that's just logic. And I refuse to do that ever. Absolutely refuse. I love my viewers. I love you guys. I love that you come on here and you engage with me. But that I draw the line there. There's no way in hell or high water that I would ever create evil for a child. Ever. It's just never going to happen. Point number one. Number two, if God creates evil, then he's responsible for it. Okay? And so all of the sin that people consequently did as a result of God's creation of evil, creating it along with us, then all in the Bible, the hundreds of times where he convicted people of sin, right? Like it says in the book of John, the Holy Spirit will convict the world concerning sin and righteousness. Don't ask me to give examples. There's hundreds of examples in the Bible where God convicted people of their sin, and Jesus did the same. Okay? Then God is the ultimate gaslighter. The ultimate gaslighter. Blaming his children for the very thing that he's responsible for. And I personally know people who, I know one person, who has gaslighted their own child into believing that the harm they inflicted on the child was the child's fault. It's the evilest blankety blank thing I've ever witnessed. I've seen it personally. That is the most disgusting, evil, horrible thing to do to a child. I will never, ever, ever partake of that. Not in a million eternities will I do that to a child. And yet, if God creates evil, that's exactly what he's doing. Because he's not going, you're right. It's my fault. I instituted all this. Sorry, guys, you're off the hook. Because that's what a real man would do. Take responsibility for their actions. Or God's just a complete wimp and he refuses to do so. Point number three. Again, I'm not mad at you guys. I'm just saying these are some things we need to think about, okay? I speak this in humility. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. Point number three. People the world over hate it when parents say, do this, kids, but then do the opposite. Do as I say, not as I do. People are disgusted by that. They look at parents and they go, they see some parent, right, who's, I don't know, an alcoholic or a drug abuser or an abuser of kids, right? And then they tell their kids not to do the same. They say, go, don't drink, kids, don't do drugs, right? Or don't hit other people while they're doing all these things. People hate those people. And yet, that's exactly who God is if he indeed creates evil and then tells us to have nothing to do with evil, which he does in about a zillion other places in the Bible. These are just some things to think about if you're going to subscribe to that theory, okay? Which you're free to do. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. These are things why I will never, ever, ever, me personally, ever subscribe to that theory, because it's like sitting on a nest of vipers. The more you stay there, the more you're subjected to these realities, and it will bite you in the end. Thank you, and have a great day.